Right guys, this is the current Honda City. We know there's a new one that's coming pretty soon, but we don't know exactly when. This particular model was facelifted in 2017, yeah, and it's still being sold now. And the price of this car is 86,000 some ringgit, yeah. And this is the top of the range for the naturally aspirated engine, not the hybrid, yeah. The hybrid sells for a little bit more. And this review is being done because of our viewers who requested for it. All right, taking a look at the front of the car, it looks pretty much the same city. It's been around for the last few years, except that now, of course, the headlights for the V-Spec, yeah, this is the V-Spec, the highest of the naturally aspirated specifications. The headlights and the DRLs are LED. Okay. The front carries the Honda DNA with a big emblem in the front with a bar across that stretches between the headlights, yeah. At the bottom you see a couple of fog lights and the radiator grille and the bottom grille. Okay, at the front you get 16-inch 185/55 R16 Goodyear tires, and you can also see that the brakes are ventilated discs. And of course you can't see very much of it, but the suspension is a McPherson strut. So this type of arrangement is very similar to a lot of cars in this category, yeah? McPherson struts in front and torsion beam at the back. Okay, moving to the back of the car, you see a shark's fin antenna, a little mini spoiler on the boot, and a little under bumper that looks pretty neat with some reflectors. And let's look inside. Okay, you can see here a reverse camera, and this is a humongous boot. The boot space for this car is boasted at 536 liters. That's actually a very, very huge boot. And Honda went to extreme lengths to get this type of boot space because people in this category, they use a lot of boot space. And so you can see at the bottom of that boot, there is a space saver tire. So if you get a puncture, you got to run at a reduced speed. And of course the rear seats split and fold, and this is the mechanism you can use to pull. There are two of these. You can pull it and that releases the rear seat. But I think the seat belt is holding it back. And let's move on. Okay, this car features keyless entry, and all you got to do is have the key with you somewhere and then just put your hand on the door handle and it opens. And the wing mirrors, let's show it again. The wing mirrors are an indication that your car is locked or unlocked. Here we go. Opening the door, you have a look on the inside. For this V-Spec, you get leather seats, which look pretty well contoured. They are made for slightly bigger size people, so it really doesn't hold me that very well, but anybody who's bigger than me will be very appreciative that the seats are like that, yeah. So they make one seat to try to fit everybody, but of course the bigger ones get full support. Driver's cockpit, it's all driver centric and it's made for the driver to enjoy driving. Okay, over here you have here is the stability control. You can turn it off. There's a headlight leveler and also the auto off. This is for the wing mirror, yeah. You can turn it off so that it doesn't fold. All right, let's get into the car and start it up. starting is on a push button basis. You don't need the key, so we're gonna put the key down, and that's the engine stop button. You have to, okay, when you are in the car, it flashes to tell you that your key is somewhere near, your engine is ready to start, but it's just flashing. You step on the brake, it stops flashing, but it's ignited, so at night you can see. Okay, that started the engine up, and the first thing it does is put on your seatbelt. Okay, then the seatbelt reminder goes off, and here's the instrument panel. Okay, you get the aircon louvers. So first thing we must do is make sure the aircon is on. Now there's an econ button here. When you press it, what happens? Okay, when you press it, it goes into econ mode. So on the meter on the left, you see the green sign there. I'm pressing it, it goes off. Okay, now this is on normal mode. I press it, it goes to econ mode. So in econ mode, the engine is tuned to run economically. Yeah, and then you see the blue light, backlight for the meter. Well, it shows that you are not very economical, because actually we are not moving. But if you are moving and driving economically, it actually changes to green. So it has a blue and green backlighting to show you how you are doing. And so on the left, you see the tachometer, and you can see the red line is about more than 6.5, maybe 6.750 or 6.8. That's the red line that you can rev it to. And in the middle is the speedometer. Okay, so this is obviously made for family man. So you look at the speedometer, the rev counter is there, but it's in the correct place. Then on the right, you have the another meter there, and that gives it a clock. And at the top there, the round part, it says 0, then it says 15 km per liter, 30 km per liter. That is your driving instructor or your driving monitor that monitors how well you're driving the car in terms of fuel economy. Then there's the clock behind, and you see down there the average of, you can see, average 13.3 kilometers per liter. Now this car was given to me yesterday, and the last time this trip meter was reset was about 1,000 kilometers ago, and the average fuel consumption over that period of time was a bit better than this. But this morning we went and took it up to Genting Highlands, and we really drove very hard. Okay, that's how to say it. We drove very hard, and it was actually 13.4 earlier, and now we are parked here in this car park giving it his walkthrough, and it's dropped to 13.3 because we are idling and doing nothing. Okay, the car was given to me on a full tank yesterday, and we went out to Genting Highlands and back. It's used up maybe a little bit less than a quarter, as you can see from the line down there. Okay, that will give you a fair indication of the fuel consumption. Okay, we are sitting at the back of the car in the back seat and looking at the cockpit from behind, so you can see much better. So we'll start with the steering wheel. Okay, on the right hand side, you see the cruise control. It's a normal type of cruise control, yeah, no adaptive cruise control. And then on the left, you see the radio control. You can control the source and then your volume up and down. The radio, of course, is over there, and down there inside the steering, on the left, there's the switch for your phone. You can use that to make your phone calls. So therefore your radio is, or rather your infotainment set, can be connected to your phone. And here's the interesting part at the top of the steering. That's the plus paddle shifter, and on the left is the minus paddle shifter. So this car comes with paddle shifters, which is quite fun to have. Okay, and of course down there you have the start stop button, and these are your aircon controls. It's a single zone. Okay, moving down, you have the power outlet. There's one there and two at the back. Then your bottle holders where we keep our smart tag, and of course the gear shift. The gear shift only has PRNDS. There's no plus minus, yeah? It's just a position for you to put in park, reverse, neutral, drive, and S means sport mode. So when you are in S, then you get a more exuberant performance from the engine. And of course the handbrake, which I actually like, is a mechanical handbrake. And moving further back, at the back you have the aircon louvers, and you can either have them open or shut, and then you can put the direction where you want them to be. And below that you have the 2 power outlets. Okay, so the floor is generally quite flat and with a little hump in the center here. This little hump, very small hump. And just to let you know, the fuel tank of the car is under the seat. In this, where my foot is, there's a little hump there. And I'm sitting, now that's my normal driving position in front. I'm sitting at the back in the seat, which is slightly slanted backwards, so it's not so straight. And there is a lot of room. That's about 10 to 12 inches of leg room, yeah, or knee room for me. Now that is another seat that's put a little bit backward, and there's still plenty of room. If I sat over there, I still have about 5-6 inches. Okay, so interior headroom for the back is pretty good. It's pretty nice, and this is one-piece roof lining, and there are 4 grab handles. That's the oh my god handles on the right. Sorry, on the left. That's the oh my god handles for the left-hand passenger front, and there's one for the driver. I don't know why they want to have that handle over there. It's actually totally useless, but never mind, it's there. It doesn't cost more. And then of course at the back there's one on the left and right. Okay, in terms of airbags, you have the standard one on the steering, one, and then there's one on the passenger side up there, so that's 2. Then you have side curtain airbags. You can see on the A pillar up there in the middle of the screen, and of course there's also one this side, so that makes 4 airbags. And then on the seat itself there are 2. These are the side airbags, and this is the rear curtain airbags. You can see the sign there. So the curtain airbags stretch right across, yeah, from the front to the back. So this is the rear one, and the front one is there. So altogether, guys, there are 6 airbags. So this car has a lot of airbags. Yeah, 6 is about the normal number that people have expectations, but this is a $86,000 B segment car, and in that sense it's pretty well equipped. So the total equipment that this car has would be the ABS, EBD and all that thing, and then of course they'll have the stability control plus the 6 airbags. So it's pretty neat. Okay, let's move to the engine. Okay, this is the 1.5 liter iVTEC engine for the Honda City. It's a single overhead cam unit, and when Honda launched this engine many years ago, they said that, yeah, we can claim that we can get the same horsepower as a DOHC, and this engine gives you power but also fuel economy. Okay, so far they've proven to be correct, and this engine is actually, if you look at it at the bottom, yeah, you can see at the bottom there, it's all aluminum block, and intake is the plastic intake, because that's where the cool air goes in, and they use a lot of aluminum because weight is important to them. So if you look at the engine mounting here, where the engine connects to the mount itself, it's also aluminum. Engineers are trying to reduce the weight, keep weight down to a minimum, and even if you look at the fender here, there's the metal part which is red, and then down there you see a black part, that's plastic. So they have actually cut a hole in the fender to reduce the weight, and this practice was first done in the European cars, yeah, a few years back. Of course, this practice has permeated through to almost everybody in the market. Okay, battery is a small one to keep the weight down, and you can see they have actually got provision for you to put a bigger battery should you want. This is the ECU, and the intake hole is somewhere up here, and the intake hole, this is the intake, and it's quite high, so this car should be able to wade through all the flash floods quite easily. So you know that if you buy this car, this is the intake at this height, so it's quite safe to go through maybe up to 200 or 300 mm of water. Yeah. All right, and you can see here they have put in some lining for the bonnet, and wow, oh, it's very lightweight. Looks like aluminum, but I can't tell for sure. So they have kept the weight down. And anyway, for your information, this car weighs a little bit over 1.1 tons. All right, there you have it. That's the Honda City 1.5 V-Spec. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.